If your brothers become women, and all of them are not suitable for children, what do you do? Everyone else thinks about the 3 palaces and 6 groups of wives and concubines, and I just want to be a pure love warrior. However, there are a bunch of resentful brothers who stand in my way. The male protagonist was originally a wastewood bandit who was about to break his rules. Because there are 5 brothers with high cultivation to live freely. But also because he was too close to his brother, causing his peach blossom luck to decline. Become a single dog who likes women. So scary, stinky rascal. You, stinky rascal. Beast. Shameless. Cheap. This dear, the old lady is not married. You deserve to be a bachelor for the rest of your life. In your father's sword. No. How many ladies of Yizhai have run away in anger? As the #1 bandit in Hutu Shenjai, there's a reason why I can't keep my daughter-in-law. That's why I died. Period. Yiji, Jinwen. Build mountains together. Eat together, live together, sit together, calm down. Big brother, long brother, short. Even going to the toilet is adjusted to the same frequency. Later, I had a wedding candle, swish. 5 brothers appeared at the door. Golden eyes. Wedding candle. You are enough. Shameless. Bone royalty. At this time, the old Zertianzhao blushed. Said brother with a nosebleed. What do you say? I can't believe in brother's character. I just don't want to leave my brother. As for the size, I can't see the red mandarin dark belly or anything. The good one pointed to his nose and scolded. Your nosebleed is on the way to your belly button. Tell me this. And you didn't read it? Why do you know so much detail? Young, looking for the child. Simon Z. Wang didn't dare to guard me. Just with kids. Can you understand such a thing that is not suitable for children? The male protagonist broke the defense. You 26 year, old pervert. Look at what's coming out of your mouth. The second black whirlwind has a snout and a tail. Brother is ruthless. We and our brother work together. How can I let my brother charge and fall by himself? Hooray. We must stand here and shout. The male protagonist scratched his head in anger when he heard the second child's words. This kind of thing doesn't work by shouting. All right. You know. Leave now. 5 emperors destroy withered willows. A blindfolded man. He fooled his brother. Even if you suspect someone, calm down. I don't even have eyes. You say yes. Immediately after, a woman's screams filled the room. It turns out that the 5th brother put his hand on the bride's tower. The bride slapped the man in the face. Go with your shoe, brothers. The bride ran out the door crying. It wasn't me who touched you. Why did you hit me? Our male protagonist glanced helplessly. Next to the 6 drops of hibiscus. He's just beautiful. Why are you fooling around? The 6th said, Big brother, no wonder. He didn't get involved. It's just that my brother Mingtan found that you like men and women. Is it really inappropriate to marry? Then the 5 brothers stared at the male protagonist with hippie smiles. Che Shuo Shuo said in unison, We just feel sorry for our brother. The male protagonist has 5 mixed flavors inside. Brothers as siblings. 1. Hao Kongtong, are you destined to run naked all your life? At this time, the spirit fox immortal raised by the male owner leaned next to him. Shit. Now a fox looks beautiful. Sighing, it's still hello. It would be better if you were a woman. Hong Kong. Have you finally remembered the slave family? Horrible. He hurriedly threw the little fox out of his body. Shit. This fox has become a spirit. This palace is so smart. I am the fox. Since the year the public rescued me, I've always wanted to find a chance to repay. Just afraid of you. Scare public. Hao Kongtong fantasized with a smile on his face. The matter of the fox fairy repaying the kindness caught me up. A better life with the little fox in the future. Will it be too exciting? Brush the dazzling golden light in front of my eyes. Awaken the horror in the fantasy. Only see. The King Kong Barbie appeared in front of me. He's constantly winking at himself. Shit. Hao Kongtong kicked Shunxia now with a kick. Don't come over. The benefactor really likes beautiful women. So much more, Lao Tzu slapped you to death. If so, Xiang said, I can only repay my kindness in another way. Then he took out a smelly mushroom, hugged the male protagonist, forcibly stuffed stinky mushrooms into his mouth. Benefactor, eat it. Fulfill your wish to be surrounded by beautiful women. So the slave family can be considered to repay the kindness. The male protagonist immediately foamed at the mouth. I staggered. My center of gravity was unstable, and I hugged it. Said, what kind of gratitude is this? This is fucking retribution. This wish was heard by his pet, the little fox fairy. So my uncle fulfilled the wish of the male protagonist. But the way to do it is turned all 5 brothers into girls. This is outrageous. Open the door to outrageous. Crazy Hong. The male protagonist just fell down like this. Shocking changes have also taken place outside the house. The brothers came quickly when they heard the news. Sure enough, people see what they want to see before they die. The next moment, the beauty in her arms opened her eyes wide. I saw the beauty turn over with a hum. Is this heaven? The beauty got up and yawned lazily. I saw the male protagonist in front of me. Hit it directly. Brother, you are awake. Scared us to death. Yesterday, my brother vomited a lot of white foam. Can't scare humans. Still the 5th has knowledge. I know my brother ate poisonous mushrooms. The male protagonist, who was squeezed so hard that he couldn't breathe, 5, suddenly pushed the person in front of him away. This person turned out to be Black Whirlwind, saying that he is about to pull open the male protagonist's pants. Brother is still complete. Black Whirlwind felt something strange on his chest. Very confused. Looked down again. And I started crying. No, I'm not complete. Suddenly a bright shadow came. Black fat man is noisy early in the morning. Are you bored? See the dress of the person coming. Is this person the 3rd child? Suddenly I feel the pressure on my head again. Is this guy the 4th? Suddenly, a scream came. How did you become so shameless? Evil is evil. Until now, everyone knows it's wrong. They were shocked. What the hell is this? It seems that everyone has become a mother's god. At this time, Zhuqiu snorted coldly and had never seen the world. Don't you grow to lumps of meat? It's worth the trouble. The male protagonist turned his head. Didn't you, the 5 emperors? I saw the 5th saying, you just bully me with a flat chest. I'm really in the blessing and don't know the blessing. Here you go. Here you go. The male protagonist only understands this is not heaven at all. This is a courtyard, hell. Can't help but compare an international friendly gesture. This woman on her wedding night beat up her husband and ran away from home. On the way, I met a gang of robbers. In 3 minutes, the bandits learned something. Never provoke an angry woman. The wigs will fly away for you. The bride walks alone in the rain. Sad at the man's heartlessness. Suddenly a knife was raised to the chest. Encountered robbers on the road. I saw a few slaps in the past. Rob your mother. Can't you see that I'm falling out of love? Do you want to die by getting out and finding a sense of existence? I didn't expect his palm to be so deep. The bald wigs were all sent flying. Scared a few people holding their heads to demonstrate. Suddenly, I really quickly hooked a member of the neckline. Wait a minute. You just said you were going to rob, right? The next moment, Joan of Arc opened the door. Shenggong savior. They want to molest people. Crying like a petite woman. Crime pear blossoms with rain. Even the bandits who were forced to perform in groups were called pretentious. I cried for a long time and found that I was crying a stepmother. I saw the house was empty. I don't know where they went. At this time, the black whirlwind in the back mountain smashed the monument for his cow. Crying for the lost little brother. Never been served by a woman, grow so big in one day. Suddenly, the second child has a skill. 2. Your radish is so crispy. You have me, don't waste it. The 2 of them chatted about the size. And the 5th saw a giant barbarian tune fly out. Cry silently. For the young girl who just passed away in Sushai, don't you think it's cruel? The 2 who were quarreling turned their heads and stepped hard. Let's face it. Dao Pendai and Lao Sang Gutia pulled on the side. Resist the urge to beat them up. I saw the red tassel on Mu Furong's chest. Ask if you are okay. Mu Furong was very embarrassed, remembering what happened before. I don't know how Big Brother is now. Is it really hard for brothers to become women? The male protagonist is still in the house at this comatose abdomen. There is a fox-like tattoo slowly revealing. Damn. Xian, that little fox cub, the power of this seed. To this kind of waste that doesn't even have ling and roots. If it weren't for the seal. I don't want to fulfill his dirty wish. The male protagonist slowly woke up. Suddenly I saw the man in front of me. You're blaming yourself in anger. Punch it away. You pervert. What are you doing riding on me naked? I saw that person rolling gorgeously. What a terrifying physical power. The man who was beaten away is actually the king of all things. The male protagonist said angrily, where is Xian going? Get him out of here. I just want to marry your wife. What's the matter with turning my brothers into women? Change me back. The king of foxes is very afraid. Could it be that Xiang, that girl, has awakened? What special hobby? Good old pupil brain waste. You call this thing a little girl? The king of foxes said at this time, there is only one way to unleash this blessing. Is to find your brothers. Use this power. Love enough at once. It's so scary. Punch him in the face and I'll teach you. Uncle. And keep waving fists. Blind your tiger eye. I can't see that I'm straight. I didn't expect this person to have such pure masculinity. Shouldn't be a cripple. Feel it again. I didn't expect him to have such a top-notch golden aura. Not without spiritual roots. It breaks at the root. Maybe this man can free me from the barrier. Thinking of this king of 10,000 legs smiled gloomily. Decided to help this man become stronger. A force in the hand. Throw out the good pupil. I showed it to this king with all my heart. I saw the male protagonist destroy several houses in a row, fall directly into the back mountain. Brothers rush. The male protagonist thought to himself, how could he have ideas for his brother? Next moment feeling embraced by wood hibiscus, so smooth and fragrant. Life without regrets, immersed in it. If Bu Tianzhang hadn't pulled it apart, for fear of doing something wrong, but seeing Moon Furong rush over again, still can't help but get a nosebleed. He pushed the person in front of him away in a panic. I saw Moon Furong lying on the ground. Sure enough, these two things are causing trouble for my brother. Good Kongtong heart attack. The body is also getting weaker. Bu Tianzhao, who wanted to help out his eldest brother, threw him to the ground. Black Whirlwind thought they were wrestling. I want to help my big brother up. He directly rejected it. Don't make a sound. It's just a misunderstanding. Woman, you know. Men's things can sometimes rebel. But the Black Whirlwind will make a mistake. Shouted that since my brother likes it. I also wrestled with my brother. The body presses directly. Shout I won. But Black Whirlwind feels weird down there. Golden eyes. Is my little brother back? Hard, Shaman and Kui Q touch directly under Hao Kong's pupils. The pants were immediately torn apart by several people. Bling. And out of that came a dragon. This scene happened to be seen by Joan of Arc, who rushed to the back mountain, and it became a monster. And we male protagonists want to explain, but seeing the woman in front of you, you was shocked. What should I do? It's urgent to wait online.
There are all beautiful brothers and sexy plump lady. Which one would you choose? Just now. Really borrowed from the back mountain. So homophobic you found a wall behind my back. Get angry about it. But in the next second I was wronged. Do you really not want me anymore? Hao Kongtong explained that it was all a misunderstanding, I swear. I really only have you as a woman. At this time, the sixth brother grabbed the male protagonist and said, Brother, don't mess around for women. If we tell the secret of becoming women, I'm really ashamed to see people. Joan of Arc sees the two hooking up again. I don't believe in scary nonsense anymore. Captured a bandit eating melons. forcing him to hold a knife to his neck. Even bandits have to admire such acting. Under the power of Joan of Arc, the bandit had to give in. However, the bandit you get in the next second. He was punched flying by the old three-step Tianjiu. At this time the third child is very ignoring. I didn't agree with this woman to come to counterfeit products in the first place. Watch such a clumsy performance once more. It sounds like Zenji is a kick. Masamiya hasn't spoken yet. It's not your turn to shiver. The two fought like this. The bandit who wants to take advantage of the chaos at this time, blocked by a giant axe. You're here to die, aren't you? I saw the black whirlwind wielding its axes. What are you bugs doing? Beat the bandit. A few onlookers were secretly watching the play. The male protagonist suddenly feels unwell. The body also exudes a terrifying temperature. Could it be that my stomach is uncomfortable? Emperor Wu stretched out his hand to take his pulse. The male protagonist's pulse is confused at this time, and with great impact. The male protagonist only feels at this time something in the body is about to rush out. At the same time, the voice of the King of Foxes came from the male protagonist's mind. Desire is the hardest to control. Facing the vivid and fragrant picture in front of you. At this moment the blessing power of the Fox clan is catalyzing. What a horrible desire. People have to go with their nature. Otherwise, when these two desires become stronger and stronger. Just hold some dolls. The good dinosaur fought back. This kind of desire that is not pushed out by love. What kind of nature? A huge aura emerged from the physical strength. The fate of being pulled to breed. I will not give in. The male protagonist's physical strength is bursting with huge aura. The fate of being pulled to breed. I will not give in. Dead fox. The fox inside looked at the golden spiritual root in front of him. As long as this guy encounters a strong external force erosion, will be forced to rejuvenate. This blessing is the catalyst for his regeneration. Looking at the thick rhizomes in front of you. What kind of real body will it be? I see the stamens bloom. These are two peony flowers. And at this time, the power of blessing flew over. Want to destroy it. The next second, the peony opened its eerie fangs. Swallowed it in one bite. Golden peony lines also appeared on the male protagonist. And the peony in the body also returns to the season. The brothers seem to be very worried about the change of the male protagonist. Zhao Ming has a nympho. I saw such a majestic brother before or at the boss. The second brother and the third brother come and see together, but the black whirlwind is still fighting. The bandits can't take it anymore. The bandit boss suddenly appeared. A giant hammer flew directly to the black whirlwind. I saw that the black whirlwind was too late to resist the sword in my hand. Seeing the bandit use the Nirvana Thunderbolt Poison Thunder. Chixiang killed several brothers and was also extremely nervous. Shout out second brother. Don't fight. Black Whirlwind is about to raise his axe to block, but those things on his chest are too big. The arm lift affected 0.5 seconds. You can only block it empty-handed. Critical moment. I saw that the male protagonist turned around and rushed over. His dick in his arms. Palm accumulation giant hammer. broken at the moment of contact. The smoke clears. Fear and holding the black whirlwind together, the two were unscathed. The spiritual roots of cultivators are divided into 4 systems. One is the lowest level of human spiritual roots with no talent. The second is to possess the power of beasts, beast spirit roots far higher than ordinary people. 3 is extremely powerful. But the meteorological spirit root that relies on foreign objects. 4th is the most invincible plant root. True spiritual root. Hello, our male lead. The pupil is the only plant that can regenerate Donkey Kong. The old fox is happy about it. Prepare to wait for Lingen to mature and swallow it in one bite. Restore freedom. Although most of the blessing power has not been absorbed now, but it's just around the corner. The bald boss on the other side was blasted to pieces. The remaining few brothers returned to the village. Counterfeit products, others get the news, yelling for revenge. Then a person appears. He is the first to thank the Bureau for 18 counterfeit products. I learned that Hao Kongtong killed the bald boss with his own hands. Angry and exuding a terrifying aura. Suddenly surrounded by a jade hand. This woman is the sister of Crab Chrysanthemum. Crab Snake. The Crab Snake comforts the younger brother on the side. It made Zhaoju unhappy. Shall we get rid of him? Then point to the crying bandit. Buy counterfeit products without failure. Save your morning anger. Leave it to the one surnamed Hao. Back to the back mountain. All these brothers don't know. Jindaiji examines the few people in front of him. Lao Wu called sister-in-law. The big brother outside the prison is yours. We are also your siblings. Then Daiji hesitated for a moment. The next second I remembered the scene of taking off my pants, slap the table. This is something that younger siblings can do. Scared into a cold sweat. The hanger looks like a little woman. Call sister-in-law. Their brothers love to get together. We are in a hurry to find the big brother to tear it up. Let my sister-in-law misunderstand. It's really time to think about it. Holding Lao Wu's hand, he began to cry. I understand you. It's too painful to fall in love with a straight man of steel. Or women understand. Woman. I plan to wait for Hao Kongtong to wake up and apologize. After all, it was a misunderstanding. She even plans to take a good shower. And look at these 5 brothers. Do you want to be together? A few people heard it and applauded more. Fortunately, Bu Tianjiu grabbed a few people. Said that the eldest brother built a royal family specially for his sister-in-law. We'll just use the original. Mu Furong asked a few people. Why did my brother regain his aura? Obviously, his spiritual root was completely broken years ago. Zhao Ming believes that plant slender roots are so powerful. Can be reborn. Kui Kuliu believes that this kind of spiritual power surge happens. Could it be a return to light? Frightened brothers screaming. Quarrel. It just so happened that Kong Peng appeared at this time, watching my brothers cry. Can't help but take a few steps back and want to leave, but was pressed to the door by several people. Then the door collapsed. Several people also fell to the ground. Who can handle this? Black Whirlwind is also clamoring to cut off my brother's roots. Wait for the male protagonist to refuse. I touched it with both hands like this. Then an unfamiliar hand reached out quietly. Fortunately, the male protagonist noticed. Throw it out hard. And get ready for battle. It turns out that the crab snake lurked at some point. Crab snake steady. With a sick face, he said, good solid flesh. I'm so sorry. I should have known to change with Zhaoju. Such a beautiful body. It seems to let Zhaoju taste it for the first time. The other side. Joan of Arc is wearing beautiful long hair. Feel the peep. Wave of the arm. Fly the stones. This is the bureau. So what happens next? When all your brothers have become women and a beautiful wife, what are you going to do? I was bathing with my brothers the last second. Now he is being chased by the lady, facing a clever attack. So scared that the pupil can only keep dodging, but still suffered some minor injuries. Obviously beautiful woman, but it still makes the horror feel irritated. Saw him come again. Brothers want to help, but he was told to go next door to help Zhendeji, because the male lead guesses that there must be others. The next moment there was a loud bang. Broken walls. A figure rushed out. Good pupil looked carefully. It's full of Zhendeji, but was seriously injured. The next second the male protagonist took Zhendeji into his arms. The bureau immediately rushed over from the middle force. I want to smash the good whole copper into pieces. The male protagonist holds Joan of Arc. It easily defused Ziju's attack. And still flirting. This made Ziju quite angry. Attack again. However, he was kicked away by good Kongtong. If it wasn't for the quick response, may end here. Look at the good pupil again. Why is it so difficult? Obviously the spiritual energy is stronger. It's just an individual, it's not an individual. The low-level mongrel spirit pile of beasts and not beasts. This makes the old fox watching the battle in the male protagonist very angry. The sixth brother on the side saw that Joan of Arc had hit the chrysanthemum poison. Determined that Ziju's forest root is green chrysanthemum. This poison cannot be eradicated. Only Z Bureau knows the detoxification method. Give up. The fourth and fifth children left with Joan of Arc. Ziju stopped the sister who wanted to pursue. Z Snake is very dissatisfied with this. Obviously has the strongest spiritual root. So scared, so unpromising. In that case, I can't like you anymore. We play like this. Looking at such close siblings. The second brother and the sixth brother complained. So rude. How can brothers and sisters have such stickers? The third brother of Beauty Angel urged the knife to fight or not. Roll if you don't hit. Just roll away. That's disgusting. These words angered the bureau. Prepare to attack. The three brothers sacrificed their spiritual energy one after another. Ziju is not afraid of this. No matter what the trick. For the sake of my sister, I am bound to knock it down. Just about to enter the palace, Hao Kongtong grabbed his ankle. And the snake was surrounded by three brothers. Seeing him scold a stinky woman a little. Then he was trapped by the three of them using their means. You can't move. The snake is powerless to fight back. Obviously I can't see their spiritual roots. But the cultivation base is so powerful. Ziju was very anxious when she saw this. Want to rush through. But was stopped by the good dinosaur. For a quick fight. Unleashed his big move. Cut everything off. Anger. Artemisia terror is trapped in a huge spiritual power. Can't tell the direction. The old fox thinks Artemisia Kongtong's current spiritual root, not enough to burn with mature flower souls. But the male protagonist believes that men have female flowers blooming inside their bodies. The imbalance between yin and yang is a natural defect. Randomly launch a counterattack. But it scared the old fox into a cold sweat. Hello. What are you doing? Don't mess around. Selling things is very sharp. What did the male protagonist Hao Kongtong do? Ziju on the other side was also shocked. Can you believe it? The man was beaten. It turned into a woman. The male protagonist quickly found Zi's weakness. Ziju is a man. The spiritual root in the body is a female flower. It's a yin-yang disorder. When Ziju discovered that the male protagonist Ling Lingan was male. When I was with Wang Pianyi. You know you've lost. The process of battle. It's a complicated process. Anyway, after the male protagonist releases a lot of male pollen, Ziju was turned into a female sister. It turns out that the male protagonist is using spiritual power to simulate pollination, and Ziju didn't know her body at this time. The body has changed. I just feel like I was forced to do that just now. This wave of operations stunned the old fox on the side. Talk about being polished. He can't be pregnant, can he? The male protagonist explains that. I just put my spiritual power. Just simulate the shape of pollen. It's not really pollen. But there is an illusion of pollination. Ziju felt her warm body. Suddenly I saw the homophobia in front of me. To hell with it. Bastard. Scrambled with the male protagonist. Gradually discovered the abnormality of his body. When I saw that my brother was actually returned to his daughter by the male protagonist at this time, and a hint of excitement. Shekhar broke down. I don't know what's going on. He actually left Ziju and ran away alone. The male protagonist looked at Ziju, who was crying bitterly, said, "You were supposed to be a girl. Dead to boys. Even at higher levels, it's irrational. There must be something wrong with your sister. Need to use your male body. Give up." Thinking of Joan of Arc, who is still poisoned, Hao Kongtong picked up Ziju's body and ran away. The other side. Lost crab snakes run wild in the rain in the woods. Thinking that my birth defect should have ended like this. Feeling hopeless. Just at this time, met his gang of bandits. The bandits are usually afraid of the Z Bureau. You are obedient to Z Snake. Seeing Z Snake alone and so embarrassed about this matter, I became evil. Originally, Z Snake's body can't withstand the cold poison of the snake root. Add to that a series of stimuli. Crab snakes are soon dominated by snake sex. Male protagonist and brother. I am taking Ziju back to detoxify my daughter-in-law. Suddenly I heard screams from the depths of the woods. At this time, Z Snake has already killed Ziju crazy. Look at this charming woman in front of you. Even though this sister has been extremely hard on herself since she was a child, Z Bureau still uses the solution. It read threatening everyone not to hurt Z Snake. The third brother thought that his cultivation method was too rigid. May hurt Z Snake. Therefore, everyone gave the task of catching snakes to the gentle six. But the old six is not used to the new pair of bowling balls. Snake not caught. Instead, he made himself cry. It has to be a male protagonist. Catch the snake and catch 7 inches. No need to make it so troublesome.
This girl actually offered to stick her face out and let me hit him. Good last time. Kongtong subdued the crab snakes actually dominated by the snake. Subsequently, male leader follow young point delivers young to crab snakes. But the male protagonist just magnetized the crab orange, consumed too much young. The remaining young child is simply not enough. It just wants up the dancing of the crab body. It seems still need to absorb some confused blessing power. Just arouse desire. So the hero turned to the brothers. Made a very shameful request. Can you guys make something that looks like that? Action. The bureau is eager for relief. Just reach out. It's a pity that apart from being cute, the male protagonist has no other feelings. Due to continuous input indefinitely for too long, just when the male protagonist could no longer hold on, the scene in front of him made him lose his bloodline in an instant. Although the 6 child's movements are stiff, but a strange temptation, the male protagonist suddenly hit. A steady stream. Now close your eyes and Chen Molly will fly together. Crabfish crab snake the twins. Before you were born, you were doomed to a bumpy life. Sister, crab snakes are born with an extremely cold constitution. Even if you are born well, you won't live long. It will also implicate my sister. The bureau is also getting weaker. Their parents went to their masters to find a way to break up. The master said, only female to male. Young nose in, to keep him safe. Therefore, the master changed his sister's character. After birth, Ziru grows as a boy. The snake has known since childhood. You have to rely on your brother's young energy to survive. In order not to lose my brother, the snake has been restless since he was a child. Perfect. Ziru is under the tyranny of her sister. Gradually grow into a complete corner. Under the great blessing of young Che. Thanks. The crab crawled through itself into the arms of the crab snake, although the crab snake has lost its innocence since then, but the two were free ever since. Just at this moment, the male protagonist picked up one with one hand, almost. You two, continue. Follow. My wife has run away. Come to Joan of Arc's bed. The male protagonist is called Ziru and starts screenshots. Unexpectedly, Ziru actually said to slap me. This operation stunned everyone. It turns out that because Zhuling Road is born with the poison of arrogance, only tears of humiliation can completely relieve death. To save the poisoned habit, the male protagonist also had to do it. But after all, hitting people is not hitting the face. In the end, the male protagonist chose to spat, and it worked. In a crackling gasp, soon enough outsiders were collected. After the daughter-in-law drinks the antidote, imagine my wife waking up. They can finish what they didn't finish on their wedding night. The male protagonist almost laughed out loud. Suddenly someone climbed into bed. Almost left the man behind. Returned to die. It turned out to be Lao Wumei, who can't see Lao Wuda. With ordinary people in Turin, he vaguely relied on clues. Found it, the culprit behind their brothers becoming women. The male protagonist. But he was torn to pieces. Why did you become a woman? But also became a woman. Why is he alone? It is true that the man is like rain. A conversation between two people. Accidentally, all the other brothers heard it. Learn all this all because caused by the task casually stated by the male protagonist. The third child immediately said, "Since the big brother's desire is so strong, come on then, brother can stand it. Come on, elder brother." After the third child was rejected, I seem to have become a little lost, perfecting the fickle performance of women. I saw the third child hugging the male protagonist. Other brothers immediately joined in. Suddenly, Hao Kongtong felt a chill in his back, a wave of killing intent. The male protagonist turns around and wakes up. Under the memory of his Joan of Arc, he threw himself into the arms of the male protagonist. Just hugging my brother. I don't know how to hug me first. The sixth brother on the side suddenly became jealous. Humph. Here you go. Sooner or later they won't. At this time, the Z sisters found Hao Kongtong. The two sisters are more and more beautiful now. They are now in great decline. Can't protect yourself. I want Hao Kongtong to send me down the mountain. The male protagonist refused without hesitation. No way. I'm used to the life on the mountain. If you go down the mountain rashly, you will be afraid. But the snake immediately exposed the male protagonist's lie. You don't want to go down the mountain. I'm afraid there are people at the foot of the mountain that you don't want to see. Like the guy who forced you up the mountain. When the emperor reveals the moon, hear this name. The third child instantly grabbed the scorpion snake's neck. Are you two spies sent by Lu Mingyu? The snake immediately said, Don't confuse me with that fool. I wish he died suddenly. It turns out that the two sisters used to be daughters of the national teacher's mansion. Father is the imperial teacher of the dynasty. My mother is an extreme fairy from the immortal cultivation realm. The father is in power under one person. Lu Mingyu's interpretation of his Danzi family used some dirty tricks to divide the polymath couple. The Z family was torn apart. Two sisters were also displaced as a result. This is why I went up the mountain to become a bandit. And although Lu Mingyu is above 10,000 people, there are also people he is most afraid. The one who should have shared the world with him. People who are now in the mountains. Since seeing your unique golden forest route, we knew you were the one we were looking for. Sheng Yu's tongue dark, bone, eternal god. Licking blood and sealing throat. Phoenix West Peony, General Red Butterfly. The male protagonist was supposed to divide the world equally with the emperor, but the emperor was angry. The bright moon breaks the spiritual root, banded in exile on the mountain. After all, one mountain cannot tolerate tigers. The two agreed to enter the bright moon to be a wise king who benefits the common people. And the male protagonist will not be allowed to go down the mountain in this life. Now, the male protagonist was actually reduced to a mountain bandit by the national recognizers. Only then did I learn that Lu Mingyu broke her oath. Brutal and incompetent. The male protagonist decides to go down the mountain to recover what he has lost. However, to go down the mountain, first, take out the divine arrow that has been sealed in the well by yourself, virgin. But blade and soul are not very good tempers, left in the dark well for so long. Seeing the male protagonist, he immediately withdrew a well of water excitedly. Such a fierce blade and soul. It must be a very powerful beast. But I didn't expect. The blade and soul of the male protagonist are also a lady. The virgin is about to pounce on the sticker. The daughter-in-law on the side is not happy. Really need to grab a virgin's hand. Show some respect. So hypothetical. Chinon said disapprovingly. If it weren't for the broken spirit lamp he couldn't summon back then, Our kids are running all over the place. By the way, you two are separated for life. Even having children, you can only give birth to a bitch. It hurts my self-esteem. Now there are so many beautiful women around him. On the other hand, I am rusty. I don't even have the confidence to quarrel. Chinon drilled into the male main body, silently said. Then everyone went down the mountain together. Unexpectedly, the mountain is under the governance of Lu Mingyu. Social order is in order. Since there has been no criminal in 10 years, the wanted notices posted on the announcement are still for the male lead. It turns out that because the portrait is too handsome, the male protagonist became an idol at the foot of the mountain. Fangirls regularly spend money to exchange portraits for idols. The male protagonist directly calls out regret that it is too late to go down the mountain. In order not to be recognized, the male protagonist covered his face with local materials. Result: this snake, this 250, is too ugly to see his portrait. I couldn't help revealing my identity for a while. This is his father's attempt to protect the two sisters. I drew it so ugly on purpose. He was blinded by his father's painstaking efforts. The male protagonist had to make a move after a fight. Conquered the Praetorian Guard with his invincible male breath. Easily took down the leader of the Praetorian Guard, the little white face. But it also exposed his identity. Several people fled separately. The male protagonist was chased into the pig by a group of mysterious man suddenly appeared in the circle. The man claims to be the stove offering fairy, the mother of the Z sisters. Sent to pick up the male protagonist. After breaking with the imperial teacher, the cultivators fight for the stove sacrifice fairy. The dog emperor has also completely torn his face with the cultivators. These cultivators simply founded the church, overthrow the rule of the dog emperor. I didn't expect them to be able to treat General Red Butterfly well. Kongtong, please come down the mountain. I want to ask the male protagonist to join, but at this time, the male protagonist is still worrying about how to get out of here. 1 minute later, the male protagonist came out of the pigsty in Pigmanu, the other way. Mingyu tossing and turning, it is difficult to sleep. Good Kongtong still became his inner demon.